Do you know why that is?
Why is that?
Well, I thought maybe you knew.
Well, I always figured it was because you did.
Known to millions as Festus Haggen from Gunsmoke,
First herd ain't even over the horizon, and here there's trouble already. Why don't you just take those old mossy back steer of yours and drive to California?
Ken Curtis wasn't just the scruffy sidekick with a twang and a grin. He was a man with deep respect for the craft of acting. Long before television made him a household name, Curtis had been a singer, a cowboy, and a man of the American West who carried that authenticity into every role he played. In a rare and heartfelt conversation before his passing, Ken Curtis opened up about the 7 actors he admired most in his lifetime. Performers who shaped his understanding of storytelling, character, and humanity. These weren't just Hollywood stars, they were craftsmen, legends, and kindred spirits who brought something real to the screen. So saddle up, partner, because today we're diving deep into Ken Curtis's 7 favorite actors of all time.
Waiting for you out at the Astrodome with our musicians, the Frontiersmen and Joni. Going to have a real big show.
The men whose work inspired his journey from singing Cowboy to one of TV's most beloved Western icons. And before we begin this ride through Hollywood's Golden Pass, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on more stories from the legends who built the world of film and television we love today. Now let's hit the trail, starting with the man Curtis often called the heartbeat of American cinema. 1. John Wayne. It's no surprise that John Wayne tops Ken Curtis's list. The two shared more than just movie sets. They shared friendship, respect.
I saw film clips where they ran film at 18 frames per second to make it look fast.
And an unspoken understanding of what it meant to be men of the West. Curtis and Wayne first crossed paths when Curtis began appearing in Wayne's productions in the 1950s. Eventually, Curtis joined the Sons of the Pioneers, a group that Wayne himself had admired, and that connection deepened their friendship. Curtis often spoke of Wayne as a mentor and a larger-than-life figure, both on and off screen. Duke didn't have to act tough, Curtis once said. He was tough, but he had a heart as big as Monument Valley. He admired Wayne's work ethic, his ability to embody the rugged individualism of the frontier, and his instinct for storytelling. 2. James Stewart. Next on Ken Curtis's list is James "Jimmy" Stewart, a man whose authenticity deeply resonated with him. Curtis admired Stewart's honesty on screen.
About once every month, and I really wanted that, but my father didn't care for it at all. He didn't like the idea, and I saved the money.
Whether it was It's a Wonderful Life, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, or Winchester 73, Stewart brought vulnerability and decency to his characters that felt completely natural. Curtis often said that Stewart reminded him of the people he grew up with. Humble, hardworking, but capable of surprising strength when tested. Jimmy had that thing you can't teach, Curtis once explained. You believed every word out of his mouth. As a fellow Western actor, Curtis respected how Stewart transitioned from lighthearted roles into darker, more conflicted characters under directors like Anthony Mann. It was a reminder to Curtis that even heroes have shadows, and showing them makes a story richer. 3. Gary Cooper. When Ken Curtis talked about what made an actor timeless, he often pointed to Gary Cooper.
Do you feel depressed? Do you feel depressed?
To Curtis, Cooper embodied quiet strength, the ability to communicate more with a glance than a page of dialogue. Coop didn't say much, Curtis once remarked, but when he looked at you, you knew exactly what he meant. Curtis admired how Cooper represented integrity and stoicism in his roles. In films like High Noon, Cooper's Sheriff Will Kane faced moral decisions that mirrored the kind of characters Curtis loved. Ordinary men forced to do extraordinary things. There was something deeply American about Cooper that Curtis related to. They both came from small towns and found success by staying true to their roots. Coop showed me you didn't have to shout to be strong, Curtis said. Sometimes just standing your ground is enough. For Curtis, Cooper was the gold standard. Not flashy, not loud, but unforgettable. 4. Henry Fonda. Henry Fonda made Curtis's list for a very specific reason: his ability to balance righteousness with emotional complexity.
The kid will be tried again and found guilty as sure as he's born.
Probably right.
Curtis admired how Fonda portrayed the American everyman, whether it was Tom Joad in The Grapes of Wrath or Wyatt Earp in My Darling Clementine. Fonda's characters carried a quiet decency that Curtis found inspiring. "He made you believe in justice," Curtis said. "Not the kind written on paper, but the kind that lives in a man's soul." Curtis also admired Fonda's subtle acting style. He didn't overplay. He trusted the silence. As a television actor himself, Curtis found that kind of restraint especially powerful. On Gunsmoke, Curtis often thought about how Fonda would deliver a line: measured, deliberate, real. "Fonda taught me that stillness can speak louder than action," he once said. 5. Walter Brennan Ken Curtis had a deep fondness for Walter Brennan, not just because they shared similar roots as character actors, but because Brennan reminded him of what it meant to be authentic on screen. Brennan was never the leading man, but to Curtis, that's what made him special. "Walter Brennan could steal a scene from anyone," he once joked. "He made you forget you were watching a movie." Curtis admired Brennan's versatility, how he could move seamlessly between humor and heartbreak. From Red River to The Westerner, Brennan gave his characters a sense of lived-in truth that resonated deeply with Curtis. "He made the old-timers come alive," Curtis said. "He wasn't acting, he was remembering." Curtis credited Brennan with showing him that side characters weren't small roles. They were the glue that held a story together. As Festus, Curtis brought that same energy to Gunsmoke, turning what could have been a supporting character into a fan favorite. 6. Spencer Tracy.
You know, after you done the operation, that you didn't have to go home and change clothes before the funeral.
When it came to pure craftsmanship, Spencer Tracy stood high in Curtis's eyes. Tracy's naturalism and discipline were legendary. Curtis often said Tracy could make any line sound like it had just popped into his head. "He didn't act, he just was," Curtis said. Curtis admired Tracy's dedication to truth and performance. No matter the role, whether a priest, a judge, or a working man, Tracy played it straight from the heart. That honesty appealed to Curtis, who believed acting was about revealing, not performing. He also respected Tracy's humility. Despite his fame, Tracy never sought attention off camera. "He let the work speak for him," Curtis said. "That's the mark of a real actor."
No question about it. This is the granddaddy. This is the big daddy of them all.
Curtis often told young performers that if they wanted to learn acting, they should study Spencer Tracy, because in his words, he made ordinary people look extraordinary. 7. William Holden. Rounding out Ken Curtis's list is William Holden, the ruggedly handsome star of Stalag 17, Sunset Boulevard, and The Wild Bunch. Holden fascinated Curtis because he combined charm with melancholy, a man who seemed to understand both the glory and the cost of the American dream. Curtis particularly admired Holden's work in westerns like The Wild Bunch, where he brought a sense of tragic dignity to the role of an aging outlaw. "Holden looked like a hero," Curtis said, "but he carried sadness in his eyes, and that made him real."
Second of all, he's a friend. Now, you buy your own drinks, and if you don't like it like that, then you can leave.
Oh, you don't want to buy us a drink, but you want us to leave.
Curtis believed Holden represented the changing spirit of Hollywood, from the romantic idealism of the 1940s to the gritty realism of the 1970s. That evolution mirrored Curtis's own career, as he moved from singing cowboy tunes to embodying the rough-edge Festus on Gunsmoke. Holden reminded us that time catches up with everyone, Curtis reflected, but it's how you face it that makes you a man. For Ken Curtis, these 7 actors weren't just names on a list. They were the guiding stars that lit his creative path. From John Wayne's stoic courage to Jimmy Stewart's humanity.
Feisty enough to climb that frame of yourn like a ladder and kick out every rung on the way down. What do you think of that?
From Gary Cooper's quiet strength to William Holden's complexity, each of these men represented a piece of what Curtis valued most. In a world that often celebrated glamour and fame, Ken Curtis admired the ones who kept it real, who made audiences believe in honor, loyalty, and love of country. They weren't perfect, but they were authentic, and that's what made Ken Curtis who he was. A performer who never forgot where he came from and who always tried to bring a little piece of real America to the screen. If you enjoyed exploring Ken Curtis's 7 favorite actors,